All right, we are on the record. Today is the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Miss Crystal Walker, offender number 14471. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Kelly Perry. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I'll be conducting your hearing today. As is an official proceeding, I do need to swear you in, so if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you receive 7 days written notice of today's hearing?
Mm.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes.
And did you have a chance to review that? Do you feel prepared to go forward with today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any errors or corrections I should know about in that blue disclosure packet before we begin today? Okay. So just to kind of tell you how today's going to go, ma'am, I'm going to go over procedurally how we got to this hearing. A rescission hearing, it's really kind of the rescission itself and maybe a few other questions I have. If you're released, what that would look like. And then, of course, I'll give you the final word at the end of the hearing, okay?
Okay.
So it looks like your last hearing was a rescission original hearing, where parole was granted for August 25th, 2025 with the MHSS program, formerly the MIO program. In a special attention, it was noted that you were involved in an incident on October 4th and that charges were being filed in court. I did find case number 251900125 related to that incident, ma'am. So I don't want you to talk about it today because that case hasn't been adjudicated. And obviously this is being recorded, okay? The board did rescind your parole date and scheduled this rescission hearing. So kind of tell me what's been going on. It looks like there's been, I don't want to talk about that one incident that there's criminal charges, but you've had some disciplinary incidents, right? And I showed August for assault and a September for prohibited sexual acts. What's been going on?
Nothing. I don't know. I just got on these medications and
I'm sorry, say that again, ma'am?
I'm on these medications
Oh.
that I needed to then be upped because I started like hallucinating and having psychosis. I'm bipolar manic depression. And I just wasn't getting the right medications.
You were not given your medication?
But now they're all worked out. It's all worked out now, but before it wasn't.
Were you taken off of them?
No, they just weren't strong enough.
Oh, okay. And I'm just making notes of everything you're saying, ma'am. I am listening, okay?
Okay.
What are you currently taking?
Clozapine and some kind of anxiety medication.
Are you on a forced medication order? Okay.
I just do the medications and I've been in prison for 15 years. I'm just ready to go home. It's been a long journey, a long road.
Okay. Do you want to continue your medications?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were on just lower doses before?
Yes.
And then,
I was acting out, just I'm not feeling myself.
okay. And you think that's changed?
Yeah.
If you were released, ma'am, what do you see as your risks moving forward? And how do you plan on addressing those?
Just going to church, pray, do my artwork. I like to rap, I like to sing, I like to do some in-cell studies. Like that.
Is there anything, though, that you think could hinder your ability to success?
So,
What about, do you think if you weren't taking your medications that could conflict?
yeah, I could,
Okay.
but I promise to take them. That's a promise I can make that I will take them and I won't get any more trouble.
Okay. What about, it looks like kind of going over your offenses. I think some substance use.
Yeah, I don't use drugs anymore. I've been clean for 15 years.
Okay.
But Orange Street wouldn't be a problem because I can stabilize there.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Orange Street would be a good step for me because I could stabilize there.
Okay.
Like just to do stabilization for 6 months and then go out into the real world. Since I haven't been out there for 15 years, it might be kind of hard for me to like just go straight out there and also give me a place to stay at night and I can get a job.
What do you think of the MHSS program, the Mental Health Support Services Halfway House? It is Orange Street, but specifically their mental health
Yes.
section. You would like
That'd be
that?
so nice.
Okay.
I would enjoy, that'd be so good for me.
Okay.
That'd be a big step for me because I've been in prison for a long time.
Okay.
I mean, a long time. This is not a short time. This has been like 15 years of my life. I've given the prison 20 years of my life. I'm an old number, 35407. 35,407 people have been in prison. Now it's like 1,440,000. I mean, it's a long time ago, it all started.
And So just to tell you how that program works, they would help you with medication compliance and therapy, right? Okay, so it
Yes,
sounds like that's what you're interested in. Anything else that you think would help you in the community? Anything that maybe,
Get a job, I'll be able to go out and work.
do you know what you'd like to do?
I want to work at Costa Vida, a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
I have the coolest food there, and I eat lunch there. Take the money on I can't talk, sorry. But I'm so excited. I want to go. I'm ready.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Anything else? Those are all of my questions. From here, I'm a hearing officer. The board ultimately decides. They're made up of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board. You should get that in writing within 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Anyone listening to this hearing via video can go to bop.utah.gov. As soon as we have the decision, we post it on our website. It still takes some time. It's not immediate, just so you know. But it's faster on our website than the mail, and someone can look that up for you.
Okay.
While you're waiting for your written decision.
Okay.
I would note that you did have a guideline date of that August 29th, 2025.
Yeah.
But I want you to understand the board decides what happens moving forward, okay?
Okay.
And the expiration of your sentence, meaning the longest time the board could have jurisdiction over you, assuming no other offenses, is April 17th, 2033.
Okay.
Do you have any closing comments or things you would like myself or the board to know?
Oh, man. Just hope that I can get to that mental health program.
Okay.
Maybe show me some love. I haven't got any love from you guys at all. I've been locked straight down. I had a lot of time. A lot.
And I'm making notes of everything you're saying, okay? Do you think your disciplinary incidents are going to be an issue moving forward, or do you
No.
think now that it's kind of better?
Better.
Okay. Anything else you want the board to know? Okay. Well, I appreciate you attending this hearing. We'll go ahead and conclude, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are on the record. Today's the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Mr. Patrick Gibb, offender number 212134. Is that you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Kelly Perry. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing today.
Okay, thank you.
As this is an official proceeding, I do need to swear you in, so if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you receive 7 days written notice of today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Right here.
It looks like you brought it with you.
Yes.
And did you have a chance to review that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel prepared to go forward with today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are there any errors or corrections I should know about in that blue disclosure packet
ma'am.
before?
Well, there's a few things.
What are those?
I just I don't know. I was made out to be something really bad. Like I think like the part where it says I'm not sociable. I'm really sociable. I don't know if you're big into astrology, but I'm a Pisces and I'm very outgoing and my job on the outside sells. And so I'm very sociable and like a social butterfly. And it says right here in this one that like I keep to myself and I'm not sociable and like, I mean, it's understandable when I'm like not on my meds. Like I have aggressive tendencies, but when I'm on my meds, I fluctuate really well and I get along with everybody and I'm a good person to be around. And yeah, that's about it. I think I'm trying to find where it was, but
But I make note of that, sir. Okay, that's
okay.
make a note.
Thank you,
what
because
you're-
you have it too, right?
Yeah, I have. What?
Sorry, I don't
No.
mean to be disrespectful or anything.
You're not, sir. I don't perceive it that way. I'm asking you for your insight because
Okay.
what I have is that blue disclosure packet too. So I want to hear what you have to say, okay?
Thank you so much.
So sir, just to tell you how today's gonna go,
Yes.
this is a rescission hearing, so kind of it's a shortened hearing. We're gonna go over procedurally how we got to this hearing, a few questions I have, if you're released, what that would look like. And then at the end of the hearing, I'll give you final comments, okay?
Yeah.
So it looks like you had a rehearing after an original hearing where parole was granted for January 7th, 2025 with the MHSS program, the Mental Health Support Services Halfway House. And a special attention in December of last year, it was noted that the MHSS team had reviewed your parole date, and they noted that you were currently on an EDO, Executive Director Override, and that you were on forced involuntary medications. The board rescinded your parole date and scheduled a rescission hearing. And a special attention that I received just a few days ago, it was noted that you had one incident report and 10 C notes documenting threatening and aggressive behavior. It noted that you had been actively participating in the medication treatment plan, which is really good, and that you showed improvement in your psychiatric symptoms, and that you had gained insight into your medication needs, though it said, quote, though he still has limited insight. It said that they would like you to parole to a comprehensive wraparound program, mental health services, and that you be required to continue medication compliance while on parole. They noted that that you had been approved for the removal of the EDO override. Let's go kind of break that down. Does that all sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like for a while you were on involuntary medications. Are you still on involuntary medications?
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot to bring my certificate though. They give me a certification of completion.
Of the
I still have
medication?
a few classes. They said they're gonna give it to me in advance though. And
That's okay. Is that for your medication compliance?
yes, and so they're probably gonna take me off involuntary meds and
Okay.
yeah.
And what do you think of your meds now, sir?
I think they're great.
It's good.
Oh.
Are they working?
Yeah.
What are you currently taking?
I don't know it's triaxophon or something like that, and it's like Artane, the nickname for it. And I'm taking Invega, a shot,
Mhm.
and Zyprexa, 12.5 milligrams.
Okay. And it sounds, do you want to continue those medications?
For as long as I need it. Yeah, which I think I need it for the rest of my life, but Yeah.
You sound a little bit apprehensive, and that's okay.
Well, just because I'm a little groggy from the Zyprexa, just when I take it at night, it makes me groggy. But that's why, just a little slower, you know, because of Zyprexa. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did see you don't have any new disciplinary reports, which is good, violations. But I did see some C notes, including for some death threats. Can you tell me about that?
So I was confused on that. I didn't think I did death threats. I think I kicked my door and said a bad word. Other than that,
Why did that happen, sir?
because I've been locked in solitary confinement for over 2 years, and it's been in a worse spot because they were trying to get my meds stabilized, which is understandable. And they're just concerned, you know, about people's safety and my safety. And uh, they moved me over to Alta Current. And so I've been in that cell over 5 months now. And it's just very frustrating getting an hour out, you know, and any right human in their mind, you know, would, freak out eventually. You know, it's just an unstable like place. You know, you only get a phone call every 30 minutes. Um, yeah.
Okay.
And so I just need more room to walk and more time, which is I got good news on that. I went to my OMR hearing yesterday and they released the EDO. So thank you so much for that. Cause I don't know if you had part in that, but if you did, thank you.
And so you're officially off the EDO?
Yes, and so they said probably by Monday or hopefully today that they'll move me downstairs and work me gradually up to getting more time out of my cell with people and then, yeah, hopefully this goes really well and then I can get out of here and fluctuate with, you know, more people and be part of society again.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, in regards to that program, MHSS, the Mental Health Support Services Halfway House,
Right.
what do you think about that? Would you like to go there?
Yes, Atherton.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it's in a good place right now and yeah, I think it would be really good.
Okay, that's good. You know, and obviously just to kind of give you a little bit insight into how that works, they help with medication compliance.
Right.
They help with, therapy there. If you wanted to pursue some kind of job, then they can help you with those kind of things. Do you want to work, sir, or?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely want to work.
Wha-
I was thinking like Taco Bell or McDonald's
Okay.
and so because they pay like 20 plus bucks an hour, dollars an hour, and it would be really good. And then I could, you know, eat a bunch of food, which is really good. I like to eat food. And I could go to the gym, you know, after if the treatment the halfway house allows that eventually and get some good exercise in, you know, because it's really good for me to get exercise. And probably maybe get a bike or something, take the bus and tracks and just do a whole bunch of good stuff, you know, get back to the community.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So anything else that you think would help you in your success, sir?
Probably a girlfriend because I'm sick of looking at dudes.
Uh,
Probably start with the dog first, you know, a cat or something, and then gradually work my way up because I got to take care of myself first, you know.
and
I'm sick of looking at dudes. I'm so sick of prison.
it sounds like you're motivated to leave prison.
Yes.
And what are your risks when you're leaving prison?
I think I'll be pretty good because like I said, I'm very sociable and outgoing and I get along with people. I do pest control on the outside
Okay.
and I go door to door and I'm very talkative. And I took communication in college, and so I learned how to like listen and communicate properly and just be functioning the right way. And I yeah, just I'm very outgoing and I don't think I'll have any problems because I think it's a good idea to get me, involved with the community where I'm at in prison, be sociable and show everybody that I'm on good behavior. And
Do you think going off of your medications would be a risk?
yeah, so I'm gonna stick with those.
Okay.
And
Because obviously, like you said, sir, I think one of the
Right.
things the report, the blue disclosure packet talked about, and that special attention that I just received was, when you are on your medication, it sounds like things are going well, but that when you're off of it, that you've had some pretty violent offenses, right?
which I'm not happy about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, I'm just saying what the report said, right?
Well, it's true.
Okay,
It's true. I've sort of been in a fog because they're adjusting my medication.
okay,
And it's I've been going up and down having mood swings and just my bipolar is is something that is going on, but it's not anymore because they found the right medication. I'm stabilized now. And so I can function at a high rate now and I can be sociable and not want to hurt anybody or myself.
okay.
And so I think that was the biggest concern they had, and which is understandable. And yeah, I'm older now, I'm more mature, I'm properly medicated, so now I'll be pretty good.
Good, sir.
Not pretty good, but good. I'll be on top of my game and not hurt anybody or myself or act out because if a if a if a CO tells me to go lock down, the situation that occurred before won't ever happen again. I'll just go lock down.
I'm
'cause
assuming
that
you're
was out of
talking about the
character.
prior
Mm.
assault, yeah.
Yeah, that's out of character. Even if like I don't like the person or we have a mishap, um, yeah, then I'll just go to my cell and that's it. Like it's not a big deal, but my meds were unstabilized at that time, so like I said, I'm properly medicated, so I'll just act the right way.
Okay.
So.
All right, sir, those are all of my questions. From here, I'm a hearing officer. I make recommendations. The board ultimately decides. They're made up of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board. You should get that in writing within 2 to 4 weeks. Your family members, your friends, anyone listening to this hearing via video can go to bop.utah.gov. As soon as we have the decision, we post on our website. It's obviously faster on the website than the mail, but it still takes time even on the website. It's not immediate, okay?
Okay,
Sir, I would note your expiration is November 13th, 2025.
right.
That's the longest time the board could have jurisdiction over you.
Yeah,
Assuming no other offenses. So, and obviously that's this year.
yeah.
Do you have any closing comments or questions for myself or for the
No,
board?
I appreciate you so much. And I think you were doing my last hearing too, right?
I believe so, sir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you attending this
Yeah.
hearing. We'll go ahead
All
and do
right.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, we are on the record. Today is the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Mr. WYLER Winters, offender number 234664. Is that you, sir?
Yes.
My name is Kelly Perry. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I'll be conducting your hearing today. As this is an official proceeding, I do need to swear you in, so if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And do you mind getting a little close to the microphone? I just want to make sure we're being recorded. I can hear you, okay? Awesome. Did you receive 7 days written notice of today's hearing?
Yes.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes.
And did you have a chance to review that?
Yeah.
Do you feel prepared to go forward with today's hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any errors or corrections you want me to know about before we begin today in that blue disclosure packet?
No.
Okay. So just to kind of tell you how today's going to go, sir, this is a rescission hearing. It's a very shortened hearing. I'm going to go over procedurally how we got to this hearing, maybe a few background questions, if you were released, what that would look like. And then at the end of the hearing, of course, I'll give you the final word, okay?
Okay.
So it looks like you had a rescission hearing after a parole violation hearing. It was noted that you refused to attend the hearing. The board ordered an expiration of your sentence of June 9th, 2026, and noted they would consider another rescission hearing upon written request. And a special attention in December of last year, a rescission hearing was ordered, and it was noted that you had made the request for this hearing. Is that right, sir?
Yeah.
So kind of tell me what was going on. Why did you not want to attend the last hearing?
My mental health was just struggling really bad, and then it all of a sudden cleared up.
What do you contribute that to?
My meds a lot,
Okay.
but just the time away that I had the time away from drugs. I think I got sober and it cleared up.
And I'm just making notes of everything you're saying. Sorry, I'm listening, okay? So how long have you been sober then, sir?
4 years.
Good. What's your current attitude towards substances?
I finally got to where I can say no. I absolutely want no part of it.
That's good. Why do you think that's changed, though? Because it sounds like, you're talking about you refused to go to the hearing and that you were kind of still coming
Because
off
I
of
found the
drugs.
things that I want to live for.
Okay. And what, can you expand on that a little bit for me?
I got my son. I need to get a job. I don't ever want to be in the pain that I was in when I was in active addiction again.
Okay.
That hurt.
And I appreciate you talking about some of this stuff, sir. I'm sure it's not easy. So it sounds like you have some motivators, which is really good. You mentioned your son. Do you have custody of your son? Is that something you're working towards?
I'll just be joint.
Okay.
My wife's got custody of him.
Okay. So you're mentioning you don't want drugs anymore. Do you
At all.
think you need treatment for drugs? Substance use treatment?
I think I found it here, but I'm open and willing to it if they decide that.
Okay. And I appreciate that. It sounds like you're willing to comply with board orders, which is good. I guess I'm just asking, what do you think will help you? Do you think you need an inpatient or an outpatient?
Like,
Or
I've
do you need not
place
treat?
I can say no. I honestly have had enough of it.
Okay.
I have no desire to use whatsoever anymore at all.
Okay.
I've made promises to the I've been 4 years sober. I have no desire to go back to it at all.
Okay. That's good. So you're talking a little about, at the beginning about struggling mentally. And it sounds like things have changed in that regard.
I'm doing good.
How's your mental health?
It's good. I'm doing good.
Good. So
I've got my light back on in my mind. I'm feeling positive about life. I feel like I can get a job. I feel like I'm gonna be able to be successful after this and get going. The fact that I'll be able to say no to drugs, the fact that that's out of my life, I can focus on just getting a job somewhere and then paying my child support and getting back on my feet. I don't ever think I'll be back to prison again, to be honest with you, because drugs is what was fueling that and getting me in trouble. And now that I don't know, it's just, I've been reading the Alcohol Anonymous book, and I found that part that God restores you in your addiction, where you can say no and where you don't need it and where you're not thinking about it. And I don't crave it. So I think I'll be able to be successful out there.
It's good, sir. It sounds like I said, it sounds like you've thought about what you would like to do, what you want moving forward. These are all really good things. What medication are you currently taking, sir?
I'm taking Invega. I'm taking a stomach med, Tylenol, fish oil. I'm only taking one psych med, and then I'm taking a Latuda at night.
What do you think of, it sounds like Invega and Latuda. What do you think of those
I
medications?
like the meds I'm on.
Okay. It's good. Do you plan on continuing using them moving
Yeah.
forward? And are they voluntary medications, sir?
Yeah.
All right, sir. So I think I show as your last disciplinary incident from July for interference with investigation. Any comments you have about that disciplinary incident?
I got a PM sack that was for food, and they said that I was staff shopping.
Okay.
Um,
So it was some kind of meal you got?
yeah, they gave me an extra one and said that I was manipulating staff. I think that's the one that they're talking about.
Okay. All right, sir. In regards to release, if you were released, do you have specific plans? Have you thought about, have
I'd
you
like
heard
to go
of,
to the halfway house up here.
have you heard of the MHSS program?
I'd like to do that.
And so just to, you might be already familiar with it, but just to tell you, it's the Mental Health Support Services Halfway House. They help with medication compliance. They help with therapy. It sounds like job is something. They help with all of that. And it sounds like that's what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then do you have, you mentioned a job being something you really want. Any ideas of what specifically you want to do or?
I want to get to the point where I can go to school because I want to be an architect. And I think getting my generals, if I went to school long enough to get my generals, it'd give me the education I needed to get my foot in the door in a couple places. But I plan on just finding a job wherever I can, to be honest with you. But driving a forklift or driving heavy equipment, I know how to do that and stuff. Construction or something. I don't really know much about Salt Lake, so I'm not gonna be familiar with everywhere, but I'll have to just get out on and see where I can locate up here. I'm not familiar with this area at all.
And it's the Atherton facility, so obviously, and they can help you with things like finding your way around transportation, those kind of things, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir, those are all of my questions. From here, I'm a hearing officer. I make recommendations. The board ultimately decides. They're made of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board.
Okay.
You should get that in writing in about 2 to 4 weeks. Your family members, your friends, anyone listening to this hearing via video can go to bop.utah.gov. As soon as we have the decision, we post it on our website. It's not immediate. It takes time, but it's faster than on the website than the mail, and someone can look that up for you,
And
sir.
it's BOPP.com.
bop.utah.gov.
Okay, BOP.
I note the expiration of your sentence, sir, meaning the longest time the board could have jurisdiction over you, assuming no other offenses, is June 10th, 2026. Do you have any closing comments or questions for myself or for the board, sir?
No.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you attending this hearing. I've made notes of everything we talked about. We'll go ahead and conclude. Thank you. All right, we are on the record. Today's the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Miss Erica Kidwell, offender number 259957. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes, that's correct.
My name is Kelly Perry. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing today. As is an official proceeding, I do need to swear you in, so if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Did you receive 7 days written notice of today's hearing, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes, I did.
And did you have a chance to review that?
Yes, I did.
Do you feel prepared to go forward with today's hearing?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are there any errors or corrections I should know about in that blue disclosure packet before you begin today?
No, there is nothing.
Okay, ma'am. So just to kind of tell you how today's going to go, this is a rescission hearing. It's a shortened hearing. Basically, the reason for the rescission hearing is the rescission itself. So I'll go over kind of procedurally how we got to this hearing, few questions, if you were released, what that would look like. And of course, I'll give you the final word. Okay, ma'am? So it looks like a paper review was conducted after your original hearing where parole was granted for June 3rd, 2025. The board took judicial notice of case number 2419-03610, which did not result in board jurisdiction. It added contingencies of no disciplinary violations and residential substance use treatment. In an earned time credit decision in October of last year, it was noted that you had completed the substance use treatment program and your parole date was granted for January 20th, 2025. In a special attention in January of this year, it was noted that you were admitted to the psychiatric hall due to mental psychosis and is currently not stable to parole. Her parole date was rescinded and a rescission hearing was now scheduled for this hearing. So can you kind of tell me what was going on in regards to the psychiatric hall?
So I became very manic. I'm a very empathetic person. And I was just thinking about like people that like, sorry, I might get a little emotional, that get stuck here for like their whole life. And just that can be really hard on people. So I was just more in my head over that. Like, it's a long time to be like stuck behind bars. And I know people do mess up. And I just wish that there would be like other solutions, like how I worked at like a house, like a house that like has a parole officer that like stays there like throughout the shift or something. I don't know. I was just trying to find like better solutions for it. But that's why these places exist, for those reasons. And I just was really manic about it, to be honest.
And I'm making notes of everything you're saying. I am listening, okay? And I realize I'm asking difficult questions, so I do appreciate your insight, okay, ma'am? So is there anything in particular that do you think triggered those thoughts, or was it just you just started thinking about it, it just started coming to you, and then it sounded
Honestly, it started coming to me, and just because like I'm used to being around people that have been incarcerated for long periods of time, like my own cousin, my boyfriend, people that I just know, like, and it just like I can only imagine how like it has affected them mentally. And I guess I'm more stressed that like I don't want the institution to be like fueling a fire. That, I guess that's what my biggest fear is that they're like.
Can you expand on that a little bit, just so I don't want to misinterpret what you're
So,
saying?
My biggest fear is like the guards are like coming in and being like, you're just a piece of shit and you're never going to achieve anything. Like, this is all you deserve in life. And I know that's why we have freedom of choice. And like, I need to remember that. But like, I also think like, what if they're like telling him this is all you'll ever be?
Well, ma'am, I would say in regards to any hearing, at least with the board, part of the hearing is talking about, things that may have occurred in the past, right? And in this hearing, we don't usually do that as much, but it's also to talk about what happens moving forward.
Yeah.
So I do, and it sounds like what you're talking about is things that you want changed or things that you see for moving forward. So what would you see your future looking like? What is success to you?
Success to me would be like a happy home, like not abusive, like loving each other, getting through struggles, working a 9-to-5 job, even if it's just at a gas station, like even if it's both of us just working there, like whatever it takes to move forward in life.
Those are good goals. So do you have a particular job that you would like to work
Well,
at?
I'm going to try when I get back to where I'm from, I'm going to try to get hired on at like Dollar Tree or Safeway where my mom's at until I'm able to talk to my PO and get like a production job or something.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
How would you describe your mental health since this time that you were in that facility?
Great.
Oh,
Great.
and what do you think What do you think is a change or different?
I'm taking my bipolar meds
Okay.
and I'm remembering, like, it's gonna sound to let go and let God, and like things will work out great, and I just need to continue on the right path that I need to do, like.
Were you taking medications when this incident occurred? Okay. And what are you currently taking?
Oh my goodness, I don't know what the sleep aid's called. but
That's,
I'm
if you
ta-
don't know the
I'm
names.
taking lithium for one
Okay.
of them.
And do you think it's helping?
Yes, I do.
And do you plan on continuing using it moving forward?
Yes, I do.
And is this a voluntary medication? Are you taking it? It's not involuntary. You're not on.
No, I'm not forced.
Okay. All right, ma'am. And it looks like you completed substance use treatment,
Yes.
which is really good.
Yes.
What'd you think of that program?
I think it was great. It's
Good.
got a lot of key aspects that will help you grow if you were really willing to put in the work to do so.
How would you describe your attitude now towards substances?
I don't really need them, but don't really it's not as much of a desire as it once was.
Do you think you need treatment moving forward or?
No, I think I got it.
Okay. And ma'am, I would note that you have no disciplinary violations since December of 2023. That's, over a year. That's really good.
Thanks.
All right, ma'am, if you're released, paint me a picture where, you don't, this is being live streamed. You don't have to give me an address, but, what are your plans?
Okay, so if my interstate compact isn't approved, I'll go to Orange Street, hopefully,
So really quick, your interstate compact, where do you want to go?
to Oregon, to Milton Freewater, Oregon.
And is it family there?
Yeah, it's my mom.
Okay. And so I don't know if you've looked into that process. I believe there's a fee. I think it's 50,
I've already paid the fee. We're just waiting for them to.
get a parole date and, okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And so, and then there's
I also need to go back to Oregon because I have warrants out for my arrest. I did abscond. So I'm trying to go back there and get all my legal obligations taken care of.
okay.
So I think that that's what Utah and Oregon is, like, they're probably trying to decipher how that's going to work because.
Do you know if you're going to be serving time?
I think I'm going to be serving county jail time. I don't think
Okay.
it will be prison time, but I do believe it will be county jail time.
Okay.
But it might be prison time because I was an accessory to a car theft, but I was just the passenger in the car, but I don't know how they're going to do that.
Okay. But it sounds like regardless of the criminal issues that you still want to go back to Oregon
Yes,
eventually.
correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. But if you had to stay here in Utah, what are your plans?
I'd go to Orange Street, I'd get a job, once I get enough money and I'm on my feet, and I'd have paid her. So I'd look around at like apartments or something that I could afford, get into a cheaper apartment that I could afford, and then work my job and see if save up money so I could get my kids to come see me, hopefully out of state to here.
Are your children in
Yeah,
Oregon
my children are in Oregon and Washington.
and you have custody?
We don't have any legal, like with my daughter, we have a notarized paper saying that we have 50-50 custody, but because I've been going through what I've been going through, he was just happy as long as I came to see our daughter. And I know that
It sounds like it's not filed with the court or something.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right, ma'am. Those are all of my questions. From here, I'm a hearing officer. I make recommendations. The board ultimately decides. They're made up of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board. You should get that in writing within 2 to 4 weeks. Your family members, your friends, anyone listening to this hearing via video can go to bop.utah.gov. As soon as we have the decision, we post it on our website. Just so you know, it's not immediate, it still takes time, but it's faster on our website than the mail, so someone can look that decision up for you. I would note your guideline, ma'am, was 16 months or September 3rd, 2024. That's obviously passed. And I want you to understand, easiest way to think of that is a suggestion. The board ultimately decides, and obviously they've gone past it. And the expiration of your sentence, meaning the longest time the board could have jurisdiction over you, assuming no other offenses, is May 3rd, 2038. Do you have any closing comments or questions for myself or for the board, ma'am?
Don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, I appreciate you attending this hearing.
Okay. And between 2 to 4 weeks, I should hear?
Yeah, and it's not an exact time period.
Will it be like a paper review, or will somebody come in and tell me, or?
You should get you'll get a written decision. You should get a piece of paper saying what the decision is about what the board will do moving forward. Okay?
That sounds great. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Have a nice
Have
day,
a
ma'am.
nice day. You too.
We'll go ahead and conclude. All right, we are on the record. Today's the time and place set for an rescission original hearing for Miss Ruth Allen, offender number 260870. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes.
My name is Kelly Perry. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing today. As is an official proceeding, I do need to swear you in, so if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive 7 days written notice of today's hearing?
Yes.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes.
And did you have a chance to review that?
Yes.
Do you feel prepared to go forward with today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any errors or corrections I should know about in that blue disclosure packet before we begin today?
No.
So just to kind of tell you how today's going to go, ma'am, I'm going to go over procedurally how we got to this hearing. I'm going to go over your new offenses. We'll go over any background questions I have. Institutional behavior and programming, if you were released, what that would look like. And then at the end of the hearing, if you have further questions or comments, to let me know, okay?
Okay.
I'll also be making notes of everything we're talking about today. I am listening. I just want you to know, okay?
All right.
So it looks like you had an original hearing. Parole was granted for November 12th, 2024. In a special detention in November of last year, the board rescinded your parole date due to new convictions. A rescission hearing was ordered for February. The board took judicial notice of the new convictions. And then in a scheduling review in January of this year, a rescission original hearing was ordered for now. Does that all sound procedurally correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. In regards to your new offenses, I showcase 2418-00133. I show on April 10th, 2024, APMP was conducting a residence check of a probationer. The probationer stated he had a wanted person at his home recently and he had to run people out of his garage. Officers located Miss Allen in the garage. She admitted to having meth. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Anything you want to say about the offense?
Honestly, I wish I wouldn't have been stupid and had the addiction problem that I had, but it landed me here where I've been able to work on myself. And honestly, if I weren't here at the prison, I probably would have gotten released from county jail and gone right back to running the streets like I was. But coming here and having available programming has helped a lot.
So it sounds like, how I'm perceiving that, sounds like your attitude towards substances has changed. Is that right?
Yes,
And why do you think that is?
because I know that I'm better off without the drugs. Staying on my prescription medication has helped a lot. I realize self-medicating isn't the answer. Going to the doctor, staying on my medications and maintaining therapy has helped a lot. And that's what I would love to continue doing.
That's good. So you mentioned some medications. Is that like mental health medications you're talking about?
Yes,
And what are you taking, ma'am?
I am on Lexapro, Geodon, Lamictal, and hydroxyzine.
And what do you think of those, ma'am?
I think they work for me just great.
Good.
I'm very well balanced on my medication.
That's good. Is this something that you didn't have before?
I had medication before, but I was inconsistent on taking it because, well, let's face it, at that time, I was more concerned about my next high. And I knew that taking my prescription medication while getting high wasn't a wise decision. Instead of choosing wisely and staying on my medication, I made a bad choice. And well, I've had to learn from it the hard way. My dad always said I learned everything the hard way, too stubborn to learn any other way. But
Well, and I appreciate your insight. I realize I'm asking probably difficult questions. Do you want to continue your medications moving forward?
yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am. Next offense, 221800266. I show on August 26, 2022, traffic stop was initiated. Contact was made with the driver, Derek. He had a warrant. Miss Allen was a passenger, had some warrants. She admitted she had just barely used meth and items she provided contained meth. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Anything you want to say about that offense?
Again, just poor choices.
Do you have any contact with this Derek?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, ma'am. And then last offense, case number 191800240. I show on July 5th, 2019, an officer was dispatched to a report of a disorderly. Deputies were talking to a woman, Miss Allen. A man sitting on the porch was identified as Robert. Mr. Bird stated, Miss Bird became upset with him and she was leaving. He got her things and placed them outside. She started yelling. He reported she had a meth pipe. She pulled the pipe out of her bag and she was agitated and yelling. Is that correct?
For the most part, yes. My husband had thrown my things into a sprinkler that was running with all my legal documentations, and I wasn't yelling. I was upset and raised my voice, but that's neither here nor there. Did happen.
So is this someone is this your ex-husband?
Very soon to be ex-husband. He's currently in federal custody.
Okay, so it sounds like no longer contact.
I've not had contact with him since the incident. Well, shortly after that incident, actually.
Okay. Okay. So have you completed any substance use treatment within the prison?
I've done the 12-step programs. I completed, let's see, Living in Balance, Seeking Safety, the 12-step programs offered by the Latter-day Saints. I've completed those on my own, the personal self-study programs, and all kinds of things like that. I've taken.
What do
the
you think of those
initiative.
programs?
I like them. I think they're very helpful as long as you are willing with an open mind. I feel that they truly benefit.
Anything in particular that you learned from any of those classes that you could see as helpful moving forward?
With the Seeking Safety class, I learned quite a bit, actually. And it revolves around PTSD and trauma and mental and emotional abuse coexisting with your substance abuse. And I realized that I have a lot of things in common with that program that did not help with my substance use. It probably is what drove me into substance use, to quote unquote self-medicate, because we go through things in life that people don't always perceive or understand or believe. And then you get told you're wrong, or things aren't like that, or, things didn't happen a certain way. And you know for a fact that they did, and it just adds to the trauma that you've already been through. And so the therapy aspect of that course and the education that comes with it is really a blessing in disguise. I'm taking my workbooks home with me so that I can reference them and share them with others.
It's good, man. Sounds like you've really taken in what you learned in those courses, I should say. That's very good. Do you think you need substance use treatment moving forward?
I think regular drug testing would be good. The possibility of an outpatient program would probably help. If you guys feel that I need that. I plan on going to NA and AA meetings and seeking help from the community, and definitely going to go to my local pastor and see what kind of programs they have at the church on weeknights and get myself going to those.
Ma'am, there was one thing, I believe it was in the pre-sentence investigation, it might have also been in your board packet. It talked about you having some seizures and other physical health issues. Can you tell me about those?
I do have seizures. They are psychogenic, non-epileptic seizures. So they're caused by high stress environments, overwhelming anxiety, PTSD. There's various things that can trigger them. They are caused in my brain and in my nerve system. So, and I can usually tell when they're coming on. I don't feel right, or I'll start seeing black spots, or there's just different ways that you feel before you have a seizure. And I have a tendency to go, okay, yeah, no, I've got to go lay down, and I'll lay down in the recovery position, and I'll let someone know that I'm not feeling well.
Does that, that sounds like a lot. Does
It
that
is.
make it so you can't work, which is, or can you still work?
I've worked in commissary since I have been here. There are days that I cannot stay, or I get too overwhelmed with things and I have to take time off of work because it's just too much. And I think it would be detrimental to me to hold down a full-time job. I don't think would be quite as possible going back into society and having to adjust. I'm going to be overwhelmed as is. Part-time employment would probably be ideal.
And and the reason why I'm asking is, obviously, I don't want the board to make conditions that could inhibit your ability to move forward, right? And obviously, if you have physical health issues, which disallow you to work, I don't want you to have some kind of work condition or something like that, which would make it so you are unable to do that, right?
I
So,
appreciate that.
yeah. All right, ma'am, in regards to your, I would note that you have no disciplinary violations, which is really good. In regards to your release plan, I showed that you'd like to live with your boyfriend.
Whaley.
Wait, okay, that's how I thought I was gonna say, but I didn't want to say it incorrectly. And that you're self-employed. Is that,
I had been self-employed at the time of incarceration, just doing little odd jobs here and there around town, doing like firewood for the winter, helping people with home
like cut
repairs.
firewood, like is that?
Yeah, like cut firewood and stuff like that. Haul scrap metal, just little odd and end things. Whaley is on probation.
Do
with-
you see that as an issue?
I don't, because we are beneficial for each other. He's been there for me this entire time I've been incarcerated. He's been my support system, and he no longer uses himself.
I
It's
was
a
gonna ask
very
if it was, if he's so.
It is a very safe, sober environment.
All right, ma'am, those are all of my questions. From here, I'm a hearing officer. I make recommendations. The board ultimately decides. They're made up of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board. You should get that in writing within 2 to 4 weeks. Your family members, your friends, anyone listening to this hearing via video can go to bop.utah.gov. As soon as we have the decision, we post on our website. Just so you know, it's not immediate, it still takes time, but it's faster on our website than the mail, so someone can look that up for you.
Okay.
I note your guideline, ma'am, was 6 months or July 17th, 2024. Obviously, that's passed, and the board
Yes.
decide what happens moving forward. But they will make note of the guideline, and I'll make note of it here too.
Okay.
And I note the expiration of your sentence, meaning the longest time the board could have jurisdiction over you, assuming no other offenses, is September 11th, 2029. Do you have any closing comments or questions for myself or for the board, ma'am?
Honestly, I'm just hoping to get the opportunity to show you guys that I absolutely can do better than what I was doing at the time I got incarcerated, and that I can rise above my substance abuse problems.
Well, I appreciate you attending this hearing, ma'am. I made notes of everything we've talked about today. We'll go ahead and conclude. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. All right, we are on the record. Today's a time and place set for an original hearing for Miss Destiny Gallegos. Am I saying that correctly? Gallegos, I apologize. Offender number 256181, is that you, ma'am?
Yes.
My name is Kelly Perry. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing today. As is an official proceeding, I do need to swear you in, so if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Did you receive 7 days written notice of today's hearing?
Yes.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes.
And did you have a chance to review that?
Yes.
Do you feel prepared to go forward with today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any errors or corrections I should know about in that blue disclosure packet before we begin today?
It doesn't list that I'm currently in education in high school.
Okay, that's good that you're, do you know how much longer you have till you complete high school?
I do not.
And I'm just making notes of everything we're talking about today. I want you to know I am listening, okay?
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So just to tell you how today's gonna go, I'm gonna go over procedurally how we got to this hearing. I'll go over your offenses. We'll go over any background questions I have, institutional behavior and programming, if you were released, what that would look like. And then at the end of the hearing, if you have further questions or comments, let me know, okay?
Okay.
So it looks like a scheduling review happened in January of 2025. An original hearing was ordered for now. They returned case, 2219029113 to the court to determine restitution and then forward to the Office of State Debt Collection. No restitution had been claimed in case 211912780. Does that sound procedurally correct, ma'am?
Yes.
In regards to your offenses, that first case I show is 2219029113. I show on September 16th, 2021, an officer observed a vehicle with a license plate that was stolen. The driver was a Destiny. 2 additional individuals were walking away from the car. She stated she had been given the key from another individual, and the vehicle was stolen. There was a check from someone else, and there was also various statements and other bank account information from other individuals. Is that correct?
Yes.
Anything you want to say about the offense? And next case, 2119122780. I show on November 15th, 2021. An individual reported her checkbook had been stolen. There'd been money that was fraudulently taken out of the account. On November 15th, an officer responded to a bank. Destiny was cashing another check. The teller said the account was frozen and she noticed the check was a forgery. She also admitted to cashing another check from the same account earlier. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Anything you want to say about that offense?
Yeah, I was kind of persuaded by a previous ex, but I admit my part in that, I should have asked more questions. She said she needed help cashing a check, that she didn't have an ID, and I did. So, but
So are you saying like you didn't actually know it was stolen? Is that what you're saying? But that you maybe suspected?
I should have asked more questions and, should have been more alert, but I didn't. I trusted her,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Were you using substances during these offenses?
Yes,
What were you using?
meth.
Okay.
And basalt.
How would you describe your current attitude towards those substances?
Currently, non-existent at all. I got clean off of fentanyl almost a year and a half ago. and
Good.
So ever since then, I've been just trying to stay away from drug use, period.
It's good. Do you think you need substance use treatment?
Or basalt, yes.
Okay. What does that look like to you? Does that look like outpatient, inpatient, a certain place that you would like to get treatment from? What does that look like to you?
I don't want to over push, because I don't know the extent of my treatment that I need. So I don't want to say outpatient or inpatient. So I would rather try residential treatment,
Okay.
first and foremost, so that I can get the right help.
I also show that you were originally on probation for these offenses, right?
Yes.
And it looks like you absconded, is that right?
Yes.
Kind of tell me, so from my understanding, if you're paroled, it looks a lot like probation. How would things be the same or different moving
So
forward?
during those times I was using methamphetamines and I was paranoid. And I didn't trust going in because I thought I was just gonna get arrested because I was using. So it's very different from now. I've been sober, I've been clean.
Believe it was in your pre-sentence investigation or your blue disclosure packet, but it talked about a pregnancy, right?
Yes, I'm pregnant.
Do you know when your due date is, ma'am?
In April.
All right, ma'am. And how's your mental health?
Good.
Good. Good. Are you currently taking any mental health medication?
No. No, I was on mental health medication back in county and I stopped that when I found out I was pregnant because I didn't think it was good for the baby.
Okay. Congratulations, by the way. I do show you completed MRT, is that right?
Yes.
How's that going? Or how was that and what'd you,
It's great, actually. It actually opened my perspective on a lot of things and my view on a lot of things.
what specifically do you think?
Emotions and boundaries and
Okay,
things that I was unaware of and like a lot of pain that I had unsettled and grief that I didn't take account for. So it helped me move a lot forward
it's good.
and open my mind more clear.
Had you ever completed a class like that before or?
No, actually, that was my first time.
It's good.
It was very helpful.
It's good. All right, ma'am. In regards to release plan, and it sounds like maybe you talked about this a little bit, but I show you'd like to go to the House of Hope, is that right?
Yes.
And that's the residential facility, is that the one you're looking into?
Yeah.
Okay, and that you'd like to work in retail, is that still the plan?
Well, I like culinary. I've been working in the kitchen.
That's good.
So whether any job would be, I like learning new things. So whether it's retail or not, I'm very open.
It's good. Are there any conditions or anything that you think would help you on parole in regards to your success?
Just staying in treatment.
Okay. All right, ma'am. And I would also note that you have no disciplinary violations, which is really good. Those are all my questions, ma'am. From here, I'm a hearing officer. I make recommendations. The board ultimately decides. They're made up of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board. You should get that in writing within the next few weeks. Just so you know, it also is posted on our website, bop.utah.gov. Sorry about that. And it's usually it's faster on the website than the mail. So someone can look up the decision while you're waiting for your written decision. Just so you know, it's still not immediate, even on the website, but it's faster on the website, obviously, than the mail. I would note your guideline, ma'am, is 10 months or February 26, 2025. Obviously, that's passed. That was yesterday. And the board ultimately decides what happens moving forward. I showed the expiration of your sentence, meaning the longest time the board could have jurisdiction over you, assuming no other offenses, is April 26, 2029. Do you have any closing comments or questions for myself or for the board, ma'am?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you attending this hearing and all of your comments. I made notes of all of them. We'll go ahead and conclude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question concerning, so due to my behavior, I wasn't able to do the, Elevate program.
Okay,
And I was contingent upon that. I've been talking to my, caseworker about doing the golden steps, I think it's called.
Okay.
And or the, Warrior Heart out in Twilla. So, I wanted to know if there's any way that I could, may possibly get that contingency removed to do a program or. Or I don't know how that would work.
what I will do is I will write a note and I will bring that up as part of my report. And so
Okay.
the board will be aware of that request. And they can consider that as well. What were the names of those two programs? Warrior
Warrior Heart and
Warrior
12 or Golden Steps.
Golden Steps? And those are both in Tooele County?
I think one's in can't remember the other one.
Okay, so it's in different places.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take note of that and report that to the board. And we'll see what they decide and we'll just go from there. But today I will affirm the rescission date and we'll see how the board wants to go. You should get a order in the next week or two, letting you know what the board decided. If you have any contact with friends or family on the outside, you can ask them to check the board's website, bop.utah.gov. And that decision should be posted sometime next week, and then they can let you know so that you're not waiting around wondering what's going on, okay?
Okay.
All right, questions about anything?
No, that's everything.
All right, good luck to you. That'll conclude the hearing.
Thank you.
Yep.
On record.
All right, today's time and place scheduled for a rescission hearing for Miss Caitlin Eisen, offender number 242790. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Eisen, my name is Jared Chappell. I'm a hearing officer at the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. I will be taking some testimony from you. If you could raise your right hand to be placed under oath.
Mm,
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to review that information?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about it?
No, sir.
Okay, so we're here today because you have pending criminal charges, which resulted in your parole date being rescinded. It looks like you have a court date next week on the March 6th, so a week from today. In case number 251901826, assault by prisoner. Are you aware of that?
I wasn't until just now.
Okay. Were you aware that charges have been filed?
No.
Okay. Yep. So it looks like you will have court next week. Because of that, the board is gonna, when was your parole date?
February 4th.
Okay, so yeah, so we're obviously beyond that at this point. So I'm gonna affirm that rescission date. And what I'll do is I'll recommend a paper review so that we can track those pending charges. And then we can move forward based on the results of that case. What I would encourage you to do is once those charges are resolved, write us a letter and then we can get you back on a calendar as needed, okay?
Okay, thank you.
We'll hear a lot quicker from you than we will from the court or
Okay, thank you.
somebody else. So yeah, so write us a letter and let us know that charge has been resolved and then we can move forward, all right?
Okay, thank you.
But questions about anything?
No.
All right, that will conclude the hearing then. Thanks, everyone.
visitors.
On record.
This is the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Kevin Allen Hill, offender number 49597. Is that you, sir?
That is correct.
Good morning. My name is Ray Reynoso. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing today. I'm going to be taking testimony from you this morning, so I'll need to place you under oath. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down, sir. Did you receive 7 days written notice of this hearing?
I did.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
I did.
It looks like the board granted you a parole date of January 21st, 2025, and then rescinded that parole date due to an unmet contingency, and it looks like there are now some pending charges as well.
I'm sorry.
I said, it looks like the board granted you a parole date and then rescinded that parole date due to an unmet contingency and pending charges.
And I don't, legal charges?
Yes. So here's
Like
what
going to
happened.
court, like going to court legal charges?
Yes. So, it's case number 251900461. Now, in that, you've been charged with possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance, a second-degree felony, assault on a peace officer, military service member in uniform, a Class A misdemeanor, false info with intent to be another actual person, a Class A misdemeanor, possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class B misdemeanor, operating a vehicle without license or registration, a Class C misdemeanor, and no proof of insurance as an infraction. The date of the offense was actually April 30th of 2024. So this was on your previous parole. You should be going to court on March 11th of 2025.
Okay, you ran off a litany of charges. I'm confused as to which one I'm going to court over.
All of those. That's what you've been charged with.
Do you have the correct Kevin Hill?
Yeah. So this one was, the date of offense was April 30th. And it was alleged in this court hearing that, or in this case, that you were arrested by Cottonwood Heights PD.
Yes.
And that's why they have filed charges related to that arrest.
Okay, so it's a, what are the, can I get a rundown of those one more time, sir?
Yeah, it's possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance.
And that, the degree of that charge?
Is a second-degree felony.
Okay.
All the other ones are misdemeanors. And it was assault on a peace officer, false info with intent to be another actual person, possession of drug paraphernalia, operating a vehicle without a license or registration, and no proof of insurance.
It's all news to me.
Okay, I figured it would be, but that's why you're here today. Like I said, they do have a court date scheduled for March 11th. So you
Can I ask what court that will be in?
It's in the Salt Lake District Court, so down at Matheson Courthouse.
Okay.
So it's an initial appearance, so they will give you, probably tell you everything you've been charged with, which I just notified you, and then they'll probably assign you a public defender if that's appropriate, and then you would deal with the public defender in the court system in that case.
I've got a second-degree felony and
Yeah, a second-degree felony, 2 Class A misdemeanors, a Class B misdemeanor, a Class C misdemeanor, and then an infraction.
okay.
Okay?
I didn't receive any discovery or this is all
No.
news.
Yeah, you won't receive it until you actually go to court, and then your attorney will help you get the discovery from the prosecutor, okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Yes,
All
sir.
right. So here's what'll happen. Is the board will probably schedule what's called a paper review. It's not an actual board hearing, it's just a way to allow this court case to get resolved, okay? Once this case is resolved, will you please write a letter to the board, letting them know that it's been resolved? And then the board will schedule you another board hearing as soon as possible, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Hill?
No, I do not.
All right. With that, we'll conclude this hearing then. Thank you. Time and place set for an original hearing for Tomas Ortiz Mendoza, offender number 258640. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
And good morning. My name is Ray Reynoso. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing today.
Morning.
I'll be taking testimony from you this morning, so I'll need to place you under oath. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. You can put your hand down. Sir, did you receive 7 days written notice of this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a chance to read through that disclosure packet?
I did, sir.
Do you have any questions or concerns about that?
No, sir.
Okay. So the board scheduled this hearing with the expectation that you participate in substance use treatment programming and domestic violence programming. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you are currently incarcerated on 5 cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A couple of them were just possession?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then it looks like there was at least, there's 2 aggravated assaults. One was domestic violence related?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me what happened in those 2 assaults.
On the first one, I was under the influence, and I take full responsibility for my actions. For what I did at the moment, I had an argument with my girlfriend. Things got out of hand. I guess I used force to, I would say restrain, but I guess in others' perspective, I did become aggressive and did hit her.
Okay.
And the second time I was also under the influence. I was with this girl. She was really my girlfriend. I guess I don't know. I was paranoid.
Okay. Why were you paranoid?
I was using drugs at the moment, so the drugs kind
Okay.
of made me paranoid, and I overreacted in the situation, and kind of I hit her.
Okay.
And that's the case for the domestic violence. Should be the second one.
Okay. I mean, in both of them, it states that you placed your hands on the victim's neck or throat area and you strangled her. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That is what the paper says.
Okay. Is this the same victim?
No, this is a different victim.
Different victim? Okay. Then you have one for damaging a jail
Yes, sir.
down there in Washington County. What happened?
So I was upset. In reality, I'm gonna be honest, I was upset. I was in the hall and I was bored. And I don't know why I started climbing the walls. And I accidentally set off a sprinkler, which broke, and that's
Okay. Why were you in the hole?
I broke a razor, so I cut hair. He still wanted me to cut his hair, so I broke a razor. And I guess you're not supposed to break the razor. I got sent to the hole for 7 days.
Okay. Tell me about your drug use.
My drug use,
What's your drug of choice?
marijuana. marijuana.
Marijuana, okay. But you've used meth a couple times then, right?
Yes, sir. I have. I've kind of experimented with all type of drugs, but my main choice is marijuana. I have used meth in the past couple of times. Yeah, I should probably stay away from that because it gets me paranoid.
Right, I mean, it gets you paranoid and you go around assaulting your girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a pretty long history of substance use, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Including as a juvenile?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're still pretty young, so that's not, I guess, such a long history, I guess. But you started at a young age?
I started at a young age, yeah.
Okay. Are you still gang affiliated?
I only hang out with them.
Okay. How's your mental health?
Right now I would say it's pretty good. Been reading a lot. Just trying to be happy as possible in a situation like this.
Okay. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues?
I think so. Well, I used to go to a therapy. Don't remember if the therapist diagnosed me with anything.
Okay. Did you go to a therapist as a kid?
Yeah.
You take any medications?
No, sir.
How's your physical health?
I say pretty good. Pretty well. I work out from Monday to Friday from 8 in the morning to 11.
Okay. Good. Are you doing any programming right now?
And you what?
Any programming?
No, I just completed anger management and MRT. And on the tablet, I also completed domestic violence class and substance abuse class. I was gonna have the Fernando, the tablet guy, print out the certificates before this hearing, but I wasn't able to do it. So I don't know how to get those certificates to you.
That's fine. Once they're printed out, you can give it to your case manager and they can email them to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you on the list for the beaver treatment program?
My caseworker, she has recommended it. Oh, I think I should be on the list.
Most likely, the board's going to require you to complete that before you're released, okay?
Okay.
No disciplinary violations?
No.
Looks like you're a janitor there at the jail?
Yes, sir. I've been a janitor over a year now.
Okay. Good, okay. Do you know you have an immigration detainer too?
I do, sir.
Okay. What's your plans for being released, once you're released? I noted that you wrote in your packet that you plan to live on your parents' property in Parole, Utah, and work in construction.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
that's what I plan to do, but I also plan to. So I was talking to my parents, and they said if my address does not get approved, then the next best thing for me is to go to it's a how do you say that? Inpatient?
Okay, inpatient program?
Yeah.
Okay,
And my parents have agreed with me, and I agreed with them. Yeah, they said if once I'm done with the inpatient, then that I'm welcome to go to their property and live over there, and I'll be able to have a construction job as soon as I get out. My dad works in construction and masonry. He said he's willing to help me.
okay. I mean, obviously your detainer is going to affect that, right?
Yes, I'm very aware of that.
Okay. Because if you're deported, obviously you're gonna have to leave the country, right?
Yes, sir.
And then if you come back, you're gonna have to come back legally.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
think the waiting year is like 5 years or something like that.
Okay. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of the current presidential administration and their activities on deporting people.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I would, if I were you, I'd talk with your parents about a plan for
Yeah,
leaving the
I-
country. For you leaving the country, not them.
I have, I actually have place. If I get deported, I have a house in Mexico. I'm gonna be going to. It's more like a farm.
Okay. All right. Is that like a relative's farm or?
It's my parents' farm.
Okay, okay. All right, that'll work then. If the board does grant you a parole date, usually what'll happen is it might be contingent upon completing substance use treatment. Okay, so they might give you a parole date maybe a year or two out. I don't know yet. We're gonna see what happens. The other conditions on there is that because you do have an immigration detainer, they're gonna add what's called immigration conditions, which means that if you are deported, you are not allowed to return to the United States illegally. Okay, if you do return, it has to be under legal immigration statutes. Okay, if you are not deported, then you will still be on parole and you will still have to report APMP, okay? We're gonna talk about two dates real quick for you. The first one is called your sentencing guideline date. It's often referred to as the matrix. That is May 9th of 2025. So about 3 months from now. It's just a suggested release date. The board is not required to release you on that date. Okay. Like I said, they may order a parole date after that if they want you to complete substance use treatment. Okay. The second date you need to be aware of is called your expiration date. And that is January 9th of 2039. As of right now, that is the latest you can be incarcerated or on parole for these offenses. Okay, now that date can change depending on your behavior in the future. If you commit a new offense and you're sentenced to prison on that offense, that can change your expiration date. Or if you abscond from parole. Okay, if you abscond from parole, they add what's called toll time and that changes your expiration date. Okay, if you are deported and you don't come back, then if in Mexico, unless Mexico requires it, you will not be required to check in with APMP.
Okay.
Okay, do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else you would like the board to know?
That I'm fully sorry for what I've done. I wrote when I went to court, for aggravated assault and domestic violence, I did write an apology letter to the victim.
Okay.
I read it in the court. Take full responsibility for my actions. I just want to say thank you for seeing me.
One other thing is that the board will also order no contact with either of the victims. Okay. With that, Mr. Ortiz, here's what will happen going forward is I'll type up my report and I'll submit it to the board this week. Takes 3 out of the 5 board members to agree to make a decision. Once that decision is made, they'll notify you in writing through inmate mail. If your friends or family want to know what the board's decision is, they can check the board's website. It'll be updated as soon as the decision is entered, okay?
Okay.
Even an early release date will not be less than 30 days. Mainly because UDC has to have the opportunity to let ICE know that you're going to be released on a certain date, and they have to make arrangements with them. If you are not deported, then the board allows AP&P to verify and approve an address, okay? All right, thank you, sir. We'll conclude this hearing.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
An original hearing for Nestor RASCON, offender number 210136. Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
All right. Did you receive at least 7 days prior notice of today's hearing, and did you receive a disclosure packet that you've been able to review?
Yes, I have.
I'll be taking testimony from you. Do you swear or affirm the statements you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Joel Robinson. I'm a hearing officer. I work for the board. I'll be conducting your hearing. Through a scheduling review, you were set for today's hearing with the expectation that you complete cognitive behavioral therapy, substance use treatment, comply with your case action plan, and not have any disciplinary violations. So we'll go over whatever progress you've made in those areas. Before we do that, I need to go over your commitment offense. You've got 2 separate cases. First case is 231-402-615, failure to stop, 3rd-degree felony, possession, 3rd-degree felony, and another count of possession, third-degree felony. That case occurred July 2nd of 2023. The board received an offense summary from adult probation and parole. It was in the pre-sentence investigation. You should have a copy of that. So I've reviewed that information. And rather than me read through that, I think it'd be more beneficial if you explain to me what happened that day, what you're responsible for.
I was responsible for just not stopping when I was highway patrol got behind me and turned his lights on and I didn't stop. And then when I ended up stopping, they found drugs in my possession.
And that's the reason why you didn't stop, is because did you have drugs, you used drugs and you had drugs on you, or?
No, I had drugs in my possession.
Okay, had you been using that day?
No, not that day.
And what drugs did they find?
Methamphetamine.
When was the last time you had used meth leading up to that?
It was like half a day before that. I think that's why I got the impaired driving with that.
And this other case occurred just the second case is what you're explaining when you were arrested after they located you. It's case 231-402-809, July 5th of 2023. So just a few days later, and you had failure to stop, third-degree felony. All of your cases combined carry a maximum 5-year sentence, puts you at July 19th of 2028. The board calculated a guideline date, takes into consideration your criminal history, the current cases, some other factors. Your guideline date is 24 months, which is July 5th of 2025. Now, the board can deviate from that guideline date. They could release you sooner, hold you longer, whatever they feel is appropriate given the circumstances. Some of the things they'll take into consideration are your history, the nature of the offenses. They'll look at your progress in the institution and then determine whether or not it would be appropriate to consider release. In regards to these cases, in hindsight, looking back, do you have any concerns with what was going on in your life at that time?
Yeah, I had got back into I never gave treatment a chance. You know, I always just had a drug problem for a long time. Before I came to prison, I had never even tried a substance abuse program or anything like that. And but yeah, I was concerned with my using at the time, and mostly my thinking, you know, the way I was thinking. Also, that's two of the biggest things that I've been working on while I've been in this program. It's kind of changed my thinking errors and impulsive behavior that I have.
And as you mentioned, you struggled with your drug problem for a significant period of time. Just reviewing your criminal history, you've got cases related to possession and drug use going back to 2012. You've got sporadic convictions. You've got a gap in your criminal history from 2012 to 2016, and then from 2016 to 2020, and then fairly consistent from that point until your current incarceration. And you said you hadn't done treatment prior. Why didn't you get yourself into treatment knowing that you were struggling this badly with drug use?
It was just because I was caught up in my addiction and didn't really. I was scared to get clean, you know, through the withdrawal and all that, and then like scared to ask for help. And I don't know why, because I come from a really good family. They don't use or drink alcohol or anything like that. So, and they're always there for me, but it was just my relationships, man, the people I was hanging around with kind of also had a role in that. Me just kind of go with what they would, you know, peer pressure and all that.
How long have you been off drugs at this point?
So since the day I got arrested, almost 20 months.
And no use while incarcerated?
No.
You were mentioning the program that you're participating. Is that that's the BRT program?
Yes, sir. I've done BRT, MRT, completed that, prison, impact of crime, all that, anger management.
When are you expected to complete the BRT program?
Here in 2 weeks. Been in
2
for
weeks?
9 months, yeah, doing the BRT.
All right. And then you submitted a board packet. In that board packet, you outlined some of your release plans. Is it still your plan to go to either a halfway house or another program?
So I got into the building beginnings. So my plan is I'll go there and do that program that they have. I think it's around 6 months. And then after that, I was planning on interstate compacting to New Mexico. My family's out there, and they said I could go out there, and I think it would be a lot better for me just to go and start over somewhere else where I don't know a lot of people. You know, start fresh over there.
All right. So get back on your feet through that New Beginnings program and then compact out to New Mexico?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the institutional progress report does indicate that you're doing well there at the facility. You haven't had any disciplinary violations. You're completing the expected programming. If the board was inclined to consider a release around that guideline date of July, once you complete the program, you're eligible for a time cut. And so that'll automatically be applied once you complete the program.
Okay.
And based off of what you've stated in the information in your board packet, you are willing to do parole. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I don't have any other questions for you. Was there anything else that you wanted to discuss today? And just so you're aware, I don't make a decision in the matter. I present all of this information to 5 board members for their review. It's up to those board members to make a decision. So anything that you would like them to know before I conclude the hearing?
No, I'm just that I've actually tried, you know, this time to actually better myself and then stay busy. As you can see, I'm sure you have a whole track there. I had employment in the prison and did classes there too. And I came over here, immediately got into the program within a week when I got to be here. So I'm actually kind of bettered myself, you know, and hopefully I've done probation successfully twice. Hopefully I can do that again and then stay clean like I did for those 3, almost 4 years at one point. Hopefully longer this time.
I actually did note that in preparation for today's hearing, just looking at your file, I did see that you had some successful probation periods where you were able to stay clean and do what you were supposed to for significant period of time. Hopefully that means that parole will be similar and you'll be able to get out and follow all the conditions and complete it successfully. All right, I'll get this information over to the board. Generally, it takes a couple weeks for them to review it and make their decision. Once they have, they'll mail you the board order and it'll outline everything that's expected moving forward.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and conclude. All right, today's the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Marco Dunigan, offender number 158781. Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
Did you receive prior notice of today's hearing and do you feel ready to proceed?
Yes, I do.
I'll be taking testimony from you today. Do you swear or affirm the statement you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. My name's Joel Robinson. I'm a hearing officer. I work for the board. I'll be conducting your hearing. You had your rehearing in November. You were granted a March 25th, 2025 parole, contingent on cognitive behavioral therapy completion and no disciplinary violations. Subsequently, the board received notice that you had a new disciplinary violation. That's why your date was rescinded and you were scheduled for today's hearing. Any information you want to provide on that disciplinary violation?
No, I think you guys have it all.
All right. How have things been going since that time?
Actually, they've been good.
All right. What have you been working on?
Last week I just completed my MRT class since I've been here.
Okay. Have your release plans changed at all?
Just from going to the Odyssey house, that's where I plan on going still. I think you guys should still have that. I think the caseworker might have faxed it to you guys that I have a bed still waiting for me.
All right. And you saw when you were granted a release date, you saw your parole conditions. You're willing to follow those and complete parole?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this disciplinary violation obviously delayed your release. Now the board will review everything again and decide whether or not it's appropriate to put another release date in place. I'll be recommending that they do implement a new parole date. I'll notify them that you completed the class that you were expected to complete, and now the expectation moving forward is that you don't have any further disciplinary violations leading to that release date. And just so you know that by the time the board deliberates and put a release date in place, the soonest possible release would likely be, outside of 30 days, between 30 and 60 days from now.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I got moved from a different facility and I take full responsibility for what I did. But I'm in a good spot now. I'm in a good headspace. And I've been doing good ever since I got to where I'm at right now.
Okay. I will inform the board of that. I'll get the information over to them today for their review. And you should get the board order, like I said, in the next couple weeks, and it'll outline everything that's expected moving forward.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Go ahead and conclude.
Wow. I was nervous for that.
All right, this is the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Jessica. Is it MAEZ? Is that how you pronounce your name?
MAEZ, yes.
MAEZ, Jessica MAEZ. And Ms. MAEZ, your offender number is 208658, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, so my name is Micah Bruner. As I was explaining to you before we went on the record, I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. The information you give me today is testimony, so I need to put you under oath. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Ms. MAEZ, did you receive at least 7 days notice of this hearing?
Yes, I did.
And did you get a disclosure packet, a blue packet for this hearing?
Yes, I did.
All right, did you get a chance to look over everything? And any corrections needed to be made, or is everything pretty accurate?
No, everything's pretty accurate.
Okay. All right, as I mentioned, we are here on a rescission hearing. Looks like back in November, at a parole violation hearing, the board granted a parole date of March 11th. But it was contingent on your case action plan compliance and no major disciplinary violations. Unfortunately, in January, the board learned that there were 2 major disciplinary issues. Well, two A-level regarding you being in possession of contraband and controlled substances, and then a B-level where you let another inmate use your cell or your phone pin to make a call.
Yes.
So talk to me about what was going on there.
Honestly, I was struggling a little bit at the prison. That's why I asked to be counted out. That's what the contraband was. I did test dirty, of course. Like I said, I was struggling. So when I went to OMR before actually leaving the prison, I asked to be counted out because I knew that I wasn't going to be very good at the prison, considering my mental state. And every time I come to Wasatch, I tend to pull myself together, and it's a lot better for me to I don't know, the prison right now just wasn't safe for me. And when I got here, I let them know kind of like where my mindset was. That's kind of what all happened with the phone pin. That was more of just, I was helping out a friend and didn't really think about the repercussions of it. You know, someone who didn't have money on their book, so I let them use my phone pin.
I see. Okay. Talk to me about your mental health status. When you were at the prison, you're using drugs. Is that a negative influence thing? Is that mental health? Were you self-medicating? Talk to me about what's going on.
So I came off the streets pretty bad. I was going through withdrawals when I got to the prison. I was in a really bad mind state just because no one wants to go back to prison, you know. I didn't necessarily want to run when I ran the last time. I felt like my last board hearing, I really wasn't heard because anything that I said, I mean, my date was decided that day. You know what I mean? So I feel like anything that I said, or like my testimony, my side of things, how I felt like I needed to be helped wasn't really listened to. It kind of was just, there was already a decision made, and that's what I was going to do. So after my board hearing, I kind of lost it a little bit more because I had explained about Orange Street, how I don't want to be placed back on North Temple, where I have a million triggers in a halfway house with a bunch of girls that I was in prison with. Since then, I have had the connections and the opportunity to actually do some outreach and find different treatment programs. I am on the list for 7th Street right now. So if that's a decision that's made by the board, that's an option that I'm going to go out and do. But I've also put myself in the substance abuse program here at Wasatch County that they just started. I've been doing that for the last 6 months. 6 weeks. Nerves, my bad. The last 6 weeks, I've been participating in that, and I've got myself on the list for MRT. Because of my write-ups, I was on lockdown for 70 days. So I did kind of like do that isolation period, but anything that I was able to do, I went and did. You know, so my mental state is actually pretty good now. I have a good support system. I'm in contact with my brother my grandparents, you know, my partner, like I'm a lot better now because I'm sober. You know, I've been given clean ways. I've kind of pulled myself together than I was then. I'm completely accountable for my actions. You know, I'm not going to make up any excuses and tell you that it's the prison's fault or this or that, because, you know, I'm a grown up and I make my own decisions. You know, I can always say no. But the temptation was there. And I feel like in kind of like my addict mentality, I felt like I was justifying my actions, you know, because I wasn't getting the answers that I felt like I wanted. So it was selfish. I knew it was wrong. You know, I knew what I was doing was wrong. Anytime I'm in that state of mind where there's substances involved, I really don't think about the bigger picture. But with the time that I've had since getting these write-ups and, you know, just kind of like having that time to myself and doing these classes, like I'm doing the CBI, they're doing Seeking Safety. I know we're about to start anger management here too, that I'm going to be part of. I've just kind of taken any opportunity to rebuild myself from where I was when I came back to prison, you know?
Okay. Well, it sounds like while we stumble, we fall, it sounds like you've really picked yourself up and have started to put something together that's not only going to be beneficial for you while you're there, but on your next release.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm looking for. You know, this time coming in, I usually leave the prison and I have a solid, you know, foundation. I have a lot of support. The last couple of years have been really hard on me, considering, you know, some personal stuff, but this time coming in was a lot different for me than any other time, if that makes sense. I don't usually come in as broken as I was this time coming in, and that temptation, like I said, I'm completely accountable for it. I can't fault myself, you know, in the sense of when I'm sober, I'm great. You know, when I'm sober, I have a good head on my shoulders. When I'm not, I'm not. And that's just the, you know.
So, and real quick, you mentioned on your last parole, you absconded, but you didn't even really want to abscond. Can you explain that a little bit to me?
So I was at Orange Street. I had completed the program. I was getting ready to go, and I felt like I was at a stage where it's like that instant gratification, if that makes sense. I was ready to go, you know what I mean? I'd had my money saved. I had it all lined up, like my plan was there. But I felt like there was little menial things that they kept like getting me for. And in my head, like I went back to kind of like my addicted, that instant gratification, of course. And I was like, well, they're not going to let me go. Even though I had finished everything, I'm just going to go. And it was kind of like a spur of the moment impulse thing. And as soon as I did it, I regretted it. Because I had finished school. I had finished Orange Street. I had done exactly what I was supposed to do. I just hadn't left the doors yet. You know, they hadn't allowed me to, and in my selfish kind of like self-sabotage mode, of course, because there wasn't that instant gratification, I made a decision that like I said, I instantly regretted. I wasn't on the run for very long. And as soon as I came back, it was, like I said, it was worse because I had everything in the palm of my hand. You know, it was there. I was going out to my son. It was all there. And I think this time around, even like I said, with my lockdown time, I've never been isolated like that. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny like to think about because I've never been isolated like that. I've never really had to like take a look at myself and really work through things without having someone to talk to. I've done a lot of journaling. All of the skills that I have learned like through my yoga, through any of the classes that I have taken, like I really put it into perspective, like in my journaling. I have a lot more tools than I really give myself credit for, you know, with the training and stuff that I've done. And honestly, like I said, I knew this was coming. It was embarrassing because of course, coming to Wasatch County, they all know me here. I don't usually get in trouble. This is not how I come in. So it was embarrassing, you know, it was embarrassing. The consequences were crazy, but it's something I had to deal with, you know?
Well, and let me jump in real quick, and we're almost out of time, so,
Oh,
and I apologize, it's a short meeting. These rescission hearings are only 10 minutes, but
Okay.
I've heard a lot of, you know, a lot of self-reflection and introspection and recognizing how things could have been different.
Yeah.
So looking prospectively, if the board grants another parole date, we know that these tools existed on your last parole, but they weren't necessarily implemented. Yeah, I understand you kind of feel like you're getting beat down at Orange Tree, and then even when you come back and you're in front of the board, you feel like you're getting beat down, and so you kind of react impulsively. So
Yeah.
what's the plan? Because obviously you're going to get out and you're still going to be around people who are using or have used,
Yeah.
and there's still going to be the chance to be impulsive. So what's the plan or do we have a plan to address those couple of issues?
Honestly, kind of like I told you, I've never gotten out where I have to come from the ground up. I'm going to be doing things on my own this time. And honestly, like if I want the relationship back with my son, how I had it before, and even any kind, like I don't have my grandparents are all I have left, you know, they're not going to be around I don't want to be that person that lets everybody down anymore.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I've never really had these type of consequences or these type of repercussions that, coming from my, you know, of course, prison's a big one, but like to be locked up and then to be even more locked up when you're locked up and to have these consequences, it's just, it kind of gives you a different mindset. I came into prison with basically nothing this time. I've never done that. And I don't want to do that again. Like I have a year and a half to where I'm expired. I've been on paper for 12 years. I want a chance to do something differently. Like I'm tired of this life. So I'm tired of it. And I've never been so embarrassed ever. So what do I need to do differently? You know, I've never tried to get myself into treatment. I just pretty much do what you guys tell me to do. And
Gotcha.
this time I've taken, different, what is the word? I've talked to people and what has helped them, you know what I mean? Like what has changed your life? Like, you know, like, so I could get ideas of maybe something different that I haven't been willing to do. Maybe that will help me, you know, doing something different, change is scary, but I need change. There's no, I can't be stuck in this stubborn mindset that I've been in.
Right.
It's,
Okay.
you know, so what is it going to take for me to get the change that I want, to get those relationships back, to be healthy again? And honestly, it's to take what I've learned. Like I have the tools. Why not?
Right. Okay.
You know,
Last quick question. How old is your son?
he is 13. He just turned 13.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
it's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So that's all the time we have. I'm gonna take my report back to the board, just like we always do. Take my report to the board. They'll deliberate, make the final decision as to whether to grant another parole or not. I'll affirm the rescission that the board did through its process. And then I'll get this report to them. They'll make their decision, post it online, and send you that letter in the mail. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Good luck to you. You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go.
On record. All right, this is the time and place set for a rescission hearing for Juan Pablo Gutierrez. Mr. Gutierrez, your offender number is 201266, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, my name is Micah Bruner. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I'll be conducting your hearing this morning. The information you give me today is testimony, so I need to put you under oath. So if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Gutierrez, did you receive at least 7 days' notice of this hearing?
Yes, I did.
And did you get your disclosure packet?
I did.
And did you have a chance to review that information?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, we're here on a rescission. Looks like the board granted a parole date of January 14th after you fill out a pro violation waiver, hearing waiver. However, in January, the board received notice of a pending criminal charge for possession. Looks like, just looking at the case, looks like it occurred on your most recent parole. It was addressed via Resentencing by the board, but now charges have been filed. So, are you aware of this case against you, Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, I have court for that tomorrow, which I already know is gonna happen. It's gonna be a case closed. But it won't happen till tomorrow when I go to court.
Okay. So, what I imagine the board is going to do is we've already addressed this issue via REM sanction. What I imagine will happen is the board will just set it for a paper review. If it does get resolved, will you ask your attorney that's handling that case to get that information to us? The court will get it to us, but if your attorney gets it to us, it can speed things along. Hopefully we can get to a point where the board can make a decision based off of the information already submitted without having you back for a hearing. But it is possible that the board could have you back for another parole violation hearing. Okay?
Okay.
Is there anything you want to say about I guess the charge is still pending, so we've already handled it, but I'll just leave it at that. So we'll set this for a paper review. But if that does get resolved tomorrow, as you anticipate it will, then just have we need the official documents. So if they can get those over to us either tomorrow or early next week, then hopefully we can get the board making a decision based off of that information. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, any questions for me?
Nope.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so this hearing for Utah is done already. What I'm gonna do is we had some hearings from Connecticut this morning, so I'll go ahead and set that up right now and go ahead and get another stream going. Hey, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Collect Call James, and you guys are watching. You have a Collect Call From, and with that, I am out.